Have you ever felt a sudden, inexplicable chill run down your spine while sitting in a quiet room? Or perhaps you have noticed a specific sequence of numbers appearing on your clock, your receipts, or even on a passing license plate in the middle of a Houston traffic jam. Most people dismiss these as mere coincidences. They call it luck. They call it a fluke. But you are not most people. You are here because you feel a pull in your spirit that others simply cannot comprehend. Right now, as you listen to my voice, the spiritual atmosphere around you is thickening. Archangel Michael, the commander of the heavenly hosts, has a message that cannot wait for tomorrow. He says there are only 2 hours left before a major spiritual shift takes place in your life. This is not a drill. This is not a random video that appeared on your feed by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. Divine timing did. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the struggles you have faced in the last 6 months. Maybe you lost a job in Chicago, or you are struggling to keep your family together in a small town in Ohio. You have felt like an outsider, like someone who is constantly fighting an uphill battle while everyone else cruises along on level ground. You have asked God, "Why me?" You have cried out in the middle of the night, wondering if your prayers are just hitting the ceiling and bouncing back down. I am here to tell you that every tear you shed was a seed, and that seed is about to break through the soil. The weight you have been carrying is not a burden, it is a badge of honor. You see, the enemy does not attack those who are stagnant. He attacks those who are a threat. He attacks the chosen ones. Archangel Michael is standing over you right now with a flaming sword, not just to protect you, but to signal the start of your counterattack. In exactly 2 hours, a door that has been bolted shut for years is going to creak open. Are you ready to walk through it? Or are you going to let fear keep you paralyzed in the hallway? Many people claim to be spiritual, but few are chosen for the front line. You have been in a season of intense pruning. It felt like loss. It felt like rejection. It felt like you were being stripped of everything that defined you. But in the kingdom of heaven, stripping is the first step toward clothing you in new authority. You are being moved from the back of the line to the very front. This shift is not just about money. Although your financial drought is ending, it is not just about health. Although your body is beginning to align with divine strength, this is about your identity. The clock is ticking. Within the next 120 minutes, you will receive a sign. It might be a phone call from someone you haven't spoken to in years. It might be a sudden peace that surpasses all understanding, washing over you while you are doing the dishes or driving your truck down a dusty road. Archangel Michael is clearing the path. Every obstacle, every shadow, and every lie that has held you back is being incinerated by holy fire. The world is in chaos. We see it on the news every single day. The elites want you to stay afraid. They want you to feel small and insignificant. But a chosen one does not bow to the spirit of fear. You belong to a higher kingdom. You are an ambassador of the Most High, and your credentials are being verified in the spiritual realm right now. The shift that is happening is a realignment of your destiny. What was stolen from your ancestors is being returned to you with interest. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal in the next few minutes will explain exactly why you have felt so much pressure lately. You need to understand the mechanics of this shift so you don't miss the window of opportunity. This is the moment where the hunter becomes the hunted, and the prey becomes the lion. Archangel Michael is not just watching. He is watching on your behalf, but you must be positioned correctly. If you are distracted, if you are scrolling through mindless content, you will miss the whisper that changes everything. As we move forward, I am going to break down the 3 specific signs that prove you are the one Michael is talking to. If you see even one of these signs, your life will never be the same after tonight. The countdown has begun. 2 hours. That is all the time left before the first wave of this shift hits your household. Brace yourself, because the King of Kings is about to move on your behalf in a way that will leave your enemies speechless. But before we dive into the core logic of this divine plan, you need to ask yourself one question. Are you willing to leave behind the person you used to be to become the person God ordained you to be before the foundations of the world? Because the shift requires a total surrender of your old limitations. You are moving from a place of maybe to a place of undeniably. The pressure you feel right now is not a sign of your weakness. It is a sign of your worth. Most people living in modern America are walking around like ghosts. They are numb to the spiritual world, distracted by their screens, and focused only on the next paycheck or the next temporary thrill. But you have felt a tightening in your chest. You have felt a restless energy that tells you the status quo is no longer acceptable. That is because the shift Archangel Michael is talking about is a direct response to your perseverance. You have stood your ground when the world told you to fold. You have kept your faith in a culture that mocks the very idea of God. And now, the window of time is narrowing. We are down to less than 2 hours before the frequency of your life changes forever. Think about the character of Archangel Michael. He is the warrior. He is the one who stood up when the heavens were in turmoil and said, "Who is like unto God?" He is the one who casts out the accuser. When he speaks of a shift, he isn't talking about a gentle nudge. He is talking about a total upheaval of the systems that have kept you bound for too long. You have been playing by the rules of a rigged game. You have worked hard. You have played fair. Yet you watched as those with no integrity climbed the ladder of success. You felt like you were being punished for your righteousness. But let me tell you something. God was not punishing you. He was protecting you from a structure that is about to collapse. He was keeping you in the shadows until the moment was right for a counterattack. The elite, the globalists, and the architects of fear want you to believe that you are a victim of circumstance. They want you to think that inflation, social unrest, and moral decay are just things you have to endure. But Archangel Michael is sounding a trumpet that says otherwise. You are not a victim. You are a victor in waiting. The chosen one status isn't about being perfect. It's about being positioned. You were born at this specific moment in history. You were placed in your specific city, in your specific family, to be the one who breaks the cycle of poverty and spiritual blindness within the next 2 hours. The spiritual authority you carry is going to be activated. You will start to see the world not for what it appears to be, but for what it truly is. Have you noticed how the atmosphere in your own home has been lately? There's been a tension, hasn't there? Little arguments that come out of nowhere. A sense of heaviness that makes you want to sleep all day. That is the enemy trying to distract you because he knows the clock is ticking. He knows that Michael has been dispatched with your breakthrough. The closer you get to the 2-hour mark, the more the enemy will try to steal your peace. Don't let him. Turn off the noise. Quiet your heart. There is a specific strategy being laid out for you right now in the courts of heaven. I want to talk to the man who is worried about his mortgage. I want to talk to the mother who is terrified for her children's future in an increasingly dark world. You feel like the walls are closing in. You feel like the weight of 330 million people's problems is somehow resting on your shoulders. But listen closely. When the shift happens, the burden shifts. You are being moved from under the weight of the world to under the shadow of the Almighty. In the next 2 hours, Michael is going to strip away the false labels that have been stuck to you. You are not the failure. You are not the sick one. You are not the one who never makes it. You are the one who survives. You are the one who thrives when others wither. This is the logic of the kingdom. The world says you need more money to have power. God says you need more power to handle the wealth He is about to release. And I'm not just talking about some prosperity gospel fluff. I'm talking about real, tangible resources to protect your family and build your community. I'm talking about $100,000 where there was zero. I'm talking about a business idea that comes to you in a flash of divine inspiration while you are staring at a blank wall. Archangel Michael is the executor of God's will on earth, and his sword is cutting through the red tape that has stalled your destiny. Why now, you might ask? Why after all these years of waiting? Because the darkness has reached a tipping point. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord raises a standard against him. You are that standard. You are the proof that God is still on the throne. The shift that is happening in the next 2 hours is a realignment of the scales of justice. Every lie told about you, every promotion you were passed over for, and every night you spent wondering if you were going crazy, all of it is being accounted for. So, you need to understand that this shift is global, but the application is personal. While the world is distracted by the latest political scandal or the newest technological toy, the spiritual army is moving. Michael is leading the charge to reclaim the territory that belongs to the children of God. Your health is territory. Your mind is territory. Your bank account is territory. And the decree has been issued from the throne room. No more delays. The era of the almost is over. You are moving into the era of already. As we get closer to the end of this hour, I am going to reveal the specific prayer of activation that you need to say to lock in this shift. This isn't about religion, it's about relationship and authority. If you miss this, you might continue to wander in the wilderness for another 40 years. But if you catch this, if you align your spirit with the message Michael is sending, your next 2 hours will be the most significant 2 hours of your entire life. Stay alert. The signs are all around you. Maybe you've seen a feather in an odd place. Maybe you've felt a sudden heat in your hands. These are the physical manifestations of an angelic presence. Moses, Michael is in the room. He is waiting for the clock to hit the appointed time. He is waiting for you to stop doubting and start decreeing. The shift is not a possibility. It is a certainty. The question is, are you going to be a spectator or a participant? Are you going to watch others get blessed? Or are you going to step into the light and claim what is yours by divine right? The next few minutes are crucial. The narrative of your life is being rewritten. The pen is in the hand of the Creator, and He is crossing out the chapters of sorrow. He is starting a new chapter titled, The Rise of the Chosen. This is the moment where the hunter, the one who has been hunting your peace and your joy, becomes the one who is cast out. You are the lion of your tribe. It is time to roar. It is time to let the spiritual realm know that you are awake. You are aware. And you are ready for the shift. Every mile you've walked in pain, every dollar you've lost to the system, and every person who turned their back on you, it was all training. You are a veteran of spiritual warfare, even if you didn't realize you were in a war. And today, your commanding officer, Archangel Michael, is giving you a promotion. 2 hours. That is your countdown. In the next section, we are going to look at the master plan behind this shift and why the powers of this world are so afraid of you finding out the truth. The master plan is already in motion, and the powers of this world are absolutely terrified that you are finally waking up to see it. Have you ever wondered why the world feels so heavy right now? Why the news is filled with nothing but fear, division, and a constant sense of impending doom? It is a calculated distraction. The global elites and the spiritual forces of darkness want you to keep your head down. They want you focused on the rising cost of gas, the political bickering in Washington, and the next viral trend. They want you distracted because they know that a chosen one who is focused is the most dangerous threat to their system. They know that Archangel Michael has been authorized to break the chains of the American family, and they are doing everything in their power to make sure you don't notice the shift. But it's too late for them. The decree has already been signed in the courts of heaven. Within the next 2 hours, the spiritual master plan for your life is moving from the planning stage to the execution stage. Think of it like a massive military operation. Archangel Michael doesn't just wander into battle without a strategy. He is the prince of the heavenly host, the master tactician of the Most High. He has spent the last season observing your enemies. He has seen the traps they laid for you. He has seen the people who whispered behind your back to ruin your reputation. He has seen the financial systems that tried to bleed you dry. And he has used all of that information to build a counterattack that is going to leave your adversaries in a state of total collapse. This is the strategic counterattack. In the military, a counterattack is most effective when the enemy thinks they have already won. Think about a time in your life when you felt completely defeated. Maybe it was when that bank in Charlotte denied your loan, or when a relationship you poured your heart into fell apart. You felt like the game was over. You felt like you had lost. But that was exactly where God wanted you. He wanted the enemy to get arrogant. He wanted the darkness to think it had finally snuffed out your light. Why? Because when the enemy is arrogant, he gets sloppy. He leaves his flanks wide open. And right now, Archangel Michael is leading a divine strike force right through those openings. You are the secret weapon in this operation. You aren't just a bystander. You are the bridgehead. Through your faith, through your refusal to give up, you have given the angelic armies a legal right to intervene in your life. You see, the spiritual world operates on laws and authority. By standing firm in your integrity, even when it cost you, you maintained your authority. Now, Michael is using that authority to reclaim everything that was stolen from you. We are talking about a total restoration. The Bible speaks of the thief being caught and having to pay back sevenfold. Well, the thief has been caught red-handed in your life, and the next 2 hours are the beginning of the collection phase. But you must understand the logic of the shift. It isn't just about getting stuff. It is about a change in your rank. For years, you have been a foot soldier, taking hits and barely surviving the day. But Michael is here to hand you your commission as an officer in the spiritual realm. This means your words are about to carry a weight they never had before. When you speak over your family, things will change. When you decree that your business will flourish, the market will respond. Why? Because you are now backed by the full authority of the commander of the Lord's army. The elites of this world think they control the narrative. They think they control the money. They think they control your future, but they are playing a game on a 2D board. While Archangel Michael is playing 4D chess, they see the 17% drop in exports or the fluctuating stock market and they panic. But you can look at those same numbers and smile, because you know that your supply doesn't come from a central bank in New York or a government building in D.C. Your supply comes from the storehouses of heaven, which are never empty and never affected by inflation. Within the next 90 minutes, the first wave of this tactical shift will hit. You might feel a sudden, intense urge to pray for someone. Do it. You might feel a sudden nudge to look into a new investment or a different career path. Follow it. That is the master plan being whispered into your spirit. The enemy has tried to keep you in a state of reaction. You react to the bills. You react to the health scares. You react to the drama. But the shift is moving you from reaction to action. You are becoming the one who sets the tone. You are becoming the one who defines the atmosphere of your home. Archangel Michael is standing right now on the border of your destiny. He is holding the line. He is telling the spirits of lack, the spirits of infirmity, and the spirits of depression. This far and no further. He is creating a Goshen in the middle of your modern-day Egypt. Even while the world around you is in darkness, you will have light in your dwelling. Even while others are losing their jobs, you will find new avenues of income. This isn't luck. This is the master plan. Look at the history of the chosen ones. Every single one of them had a 2-hour moment. Joseph had it when he was called from the prison to the palace. David had it when he stepped onto the battlefield against Goliath. Esther had it when she walked into the king's inner court. They all faced a moment where everything shifted in an instant. Your moment is happening right now. The shift is not a slow, gradual process. It is a sudden realignment. It is a suddenly from God. The clock is ticking down. We are approaching the final hour of this transition. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation. The angels are watching. The cloud of witnesses is cheering you on. And Archangel Michael is standing ready, his sword unsheathed, waiting for the final signal to release the blessing that has been held back for years. You have been through the fire. You have been through the flood, but you didn't burn, and you didn't drown. You are still here. You are standing, and because you are standing, you are eligible for the shift. In the next part, we are going to dive into the X factor, the one thing you must do in the next hour to ensure that this shift is permanent and not just a passing feeling. The enemy will try to steal this information from you. He will try to make your phone ring or your internet lag. Don't let him. This is the strategy you have been waiting for. This is the secret to moving from the struggle to the solution. Michael is saying, something is shifting. It's time for you to agree with him. The shift is about to become visible to the naked eye. Your neighbors will see it. Your co-workers will notice it. Even your enemies will have to admit that there is something different about you. The favor of God is not a quiet thing. It is a loud, undeniable force that demands respect. And as the clock hits that 2-hour mark, that favor is going to wrap around you like a cloak of golden light. Get ready. The master plan is about to be revealed in all its glory. The clock is ticking, and we are now entering the most critical window of this entire experience. We have talked about the master plan and the strategic counterattack. But now we must address the X factor. This is the element that separates those who simply hear the word from those who actually inhabit the promise. You see, in the spiritual realm, information is useless without activation. You can know that Archangel Michael is standing in your living room with a sword of fire. But if you do not know how to engage with that presence, the shift will remain a theoretical concept rather than a physical reality. The X factor is your active alignment. It is the moment where your will meets the divine will, creating a spark that ignites the transition. Right now, there are less than 60 minutes remaining before the first structural shift occurs in your life. The enemy knows this, and his primary strategy in this final hour is noise. He wants to fill your head with the what-ifs. What if this is just another video? What if I'm not actually a chosen one? What if my bills are still there tomorrow? This is the tactic of the globalist spirit, the spirit that seeks to keep the masses in a state of low vibration anxiety. They want you thinking about the $34 trillion national debt or the latest health scare because an anxious mind cannot hear the whisper of an archangel. But Michael is calling for silence. He is calling for a strategic stillness. You have to understand the logic of the Chosen One protocol. In the United States military, when a special ops team is about to move, they go into radio silence. They cut off all external communication so they can focus entirely on the mission and the voice of their commander. This is what you must do in the next hour. You need to shut out the voices of the skeptics, the voices of the experts on the nightly news, and even the voice of your own past failures. Those voices are designed to anchor you to an old version of yourself that no longer exists. The person you were 2 hours ago is not the person you are becoming. The X factor also involves a physical declaration. Archangel Michael is a being of action. He doesn't just think about defeating darkness. He executes the plan. In the same way, the shift in your life requires a physical anchor. For some of you, that might mean literally standing up in your room and saying, "I accept the shift." For others, it might mean writing down the number of the debt you want canceled and laying your hands on it. Why do we do this? Because we are physical beings in a physical world, and our faith needs a point of contact. When you make a physical move, you are telling the spiritual realm that you are no longer a passive observer. You are a participant in your own deliverance. Let's look at the strategic reaction that Michael is looking for. When the shift begins, things might actually look a bit chaotic at first. Don't let that fool you. In the world of construction, before a beautiful new skyscraper can rise in downtown Nashville or Dallas, there has to be a period of demolition. The old, crumbling structure must be torn down. Some of you have felt like your life is being demolished lately. You've lost friends who turned out to be snakes. You've lost positions that were actually cages. That was the demolition phase of the master plan. Michael is clearing the ground so that the new foundation can be poured. If you react with fear to the demolition, you will hinder the construction. But if you react with praise, you accelerate the process. The elites who run the systems of this world operate on the spirit of lack. They want you to believe that there isn't enough to go around, not enough money, not enough energy, not enough time. But Michael brings the spirit of abundance. As the commander of the heavenly hosts, he has access to resources that the Federal Reserve could never dream of. He is not worried about interest rates or market crashes. He is worried about your capacity. Are you capable of holding the blessing that is coming? If God gave you $1 million today, would it save you or would it destroy you? The shift is about expanding your capacity. It is about stretching your spirit so you can handle the weight of the glory that is about to be revealed. We are moving into a time where the middle class of the spirit is being eliminated. You are either going to be all in, or you are going to be left behind in the old system. The chosen ones are being called to the front lines. This shift is your deployment order. Michael is saying that something is shifting because he has already cleared the obstacles. The road is open. The bridge is built. All that is left is for you to put your foot on the gas, but you have to do it with a daring faith. You have to be willing to look like a fool to the world to be a hero in the kingdom. In the next 45 minutes, pay attention to your thoughts. The enemy will try to inject a final doubt, a last-ditch effort to make you turn back. He will remind you of that mistake you made 10 years ago. He will remind you of the person who said you would never amount to anything. When those thoughts come, I want you to visualize Michael's flaming sword. Visualize that sword cutting through those thoughts like a hot knife through butter. Those thoughts are not yours. They are spiritual interferences. You are a chosen one, and your past has been scrubbed clean by the blood of the Lamb. The only version of you that exists in the eyes of heaven is the one that is destined for victory. This is the logic of the counterattack. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the shift. If your life has been exceptionally hard, it's because your destiny is exceptionally large. You don't train a Navy SEAL by putting them on a treadmill in a luxury gym. You put them in the mud, in the cold, and in the dark. You have been in the Special Forces training of the Holy Spirit, and now your training is over. The shift is your graduation. Archangel Michael is checking the spiritual clock. Every second that passes is bringing you closer to the 0 hour. This is not a time for maybe. This is a time for certainly. You need to move with the confidence of someone who has already seen the end of the movie. You know you win. You know the enemy loses. You know the shift is successful. So why are you still acting like a prisoner? Shake off the dust. Straighten your back. You are royalty in a truck. Royalty in an office. Royalty in a kitchen. As we approach the end of this section, I want you to prepare your heart for the final decree. We are about to enter the payoff, the moment where we tie all these logical strings together and release the full power of this message into your life. The 2-hour window is closing, but the eternal window is opening. Archangel Michael is ready. The shift is ready. The master plan is ready. Are you? The world is about to see a version of you they never expected. They expected you to break. They expected you to quit. They expected you to fade away into the background of average America. But they didn't count on the chosen one factor. They didn't count on the fact that you have an archangel as your wingman. Something is shifting right now. Can you feel it? It's the sound of chains hitting the floor. It's the sound of the Red Sea parting. It's the sound of your new life beginning. Stay focused. Do not look to the left or the right. Keep your eyes on the light. The next section will be the strategic alignment, the final steps to secure your territory and ensure that the enemy can never reclaim what has been liberated today. The clock is at the final stretch. Let's finish this strong. The clock is ticking, and we are now entering the most critical window of this entire experience. We have talked about the master plan and the strategic counterattack, but now we must address the X factor. This is the element that separates those who simply hear the word from those who actually inhabit the promise. You see, in the spiritual realm, information is useless without activation. You can know that Archangel Michael is standing in your living room with a sword of fire. But if you do not know how to engage with that presence, the shift will remain a theoretical concept rather than a physical reality. The X factor is your active alignment. It is the moment where your will meets the divine will, creating a spark that ignites the transition. Right now, there are less than 60 minutes remaining before the first structural shift occurs in your life. The enemy knows this, and his primary strategy in this final hour is noise. He wants to fill your head with the what ifs. What if this is just another video? What if I'm not actually a chosen one? What if my bills are still there tomorrow? This is the tactic of the globalist spirit, the spirit that seeks to keep the masses in a state of low vibration anxiety. They want you thinking about the $34 trillion national debt or the latest health scare because an anxious mind cannot hear the whisper of an archangel. But Michael is calling for silence. He is calling for a strategic stillness. You have to understand the logic of the Chosen One protocol. In the United States military, when a special ops team is about to move, they go into radio silence. They cut off all external communication so they can focus entirely on the mission and the voice of their commander. This is what you must do in the next hour. You need to shut out the voices of the skeptics, the voices of the experts on the nightly news, and even the voice of your own past failures. Those voices are designed to anchor you to an old version of yourself that no longer exists. The person you were 2 hours ago is not the person you are becoming. The X factor also involves a physical declaration. Archangel Michael is a being of action. He doesn't just think about defeating darkness, he executes the plan. In the same way, the shift in your life requires a physical anchor. For some of you, that might mean literally standing up in your room and saying, "I accept the shift." For others, it might mean writing down the number of the debt you want canceled and laying your hands on it. Why do we do this? Because we are physical beings in a physical world, and our faith needs a point of contact. When you make a physical move, you are telling the spiritual realm that you are no longer a passive observer. You are a participant in your own deliverance. Let's look at the strategic reaction that Michael is looking for. When the shift begins, things might actually look a bit chaotic at first. Don't let that fool you. In the world of construction, before a beautiful new skyscraper can rise in downtown Nashville or Dallas, there has to be a period of demolition. The old, crumbling structure must be torn down. Some of you have felt like your life is being demolished lately. You've lost friends who turned out to be snakes. You've lost positions that were actually cages. That was the demolition phase of the master plan. Michael is clearing the ground so that the new foundation can be poured. If you react with fear to the demolition, you will hinder the construction. But if you react with praise, you accelerate the process. The elites who run the systems of this world operate on the spirit of lack. They want you to believe that there isn't enough to go around, not enough money, not enough energy, not enough time. But Michael brings the spirit of abundance. As the commander of the heavenly hosts, he has access to resources that the Federal Reserve could never dream of. He is not worried about interest rates or market crashes. He is worried about your capacity. Are you capable of holding the blessing that is coming? If God gave you $1 million today, would it save you or would it destroy you? The shift is about expanding your capacity. It is about stretching your spirit so you can handle the weight of the glory that is about to be revealed. We are moving into a time where the middle class of the spirit is being eliminated. You are either going to be all in, or you are going to be left behind in the old system. The chosen ones are being called to the front lines. This shift is your deployment order. Michael is saying that something is shifting because he has already cleared the obstacles. The road is open. The bridge is built. All that is left is for you to put your foot on the gas. But you have to do it with a daring faith. You have to be willing to look like a fool to the world to be a hero in the kingdom. In the next 45 minutes, pay attention to your thoughts. The enemy will try to inject a final doubt, a last-ditch effort to make you turn back. He will remind you of that mistake you made 10 years ago. He will remind you of the person who said you would never amount to anything. When those thoughts come, I want you to visualize Michael's flaming sword. Visualize that sword cutting through those thoughts like a hot knife through butter. Those thoughts are not yours. They are spiritual interferences. You are a chosen one, and your past has been scrubbed clean by the blood of the Lamb. The only version of you that exists in the eyes of heaven is the one that is destined for victory. And this is the logic of the counterattack. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the shift. If your life has been exceptionally hard, it's because your destiny is exceptionally large. You don't train a Navy SEAL by putting them on a treadmill in a luxury gym. You put them in the mud, in the cold, and in the dark. You have been in the Special Forces training of the Holy Spirit, and now your training is over. The shift is your graduation. Archangel Michael is checking the spiritual clock. Every second that passes is bringing you closer to the 0 hour. This is not a time for maybe. This is a time for certainly. You need to move with the confidence of someone who has already seen the end of the movie. You know you win. You know the enemy loses. You know the shift is successful. So why are you still acting like a prisoner? Shake off the dust. Straighten your back. You are royalty in a truck. royalty in an office, royalty in a kitchen. As we approach the end of this section, I want you to prepare your heart for the final decree. We are about to enter the payoff, the moment where we tie all these logical strings together and release the full power of this message into your life. The 2-hour window is closing, but the eternal window is opening. Archangel Michael is ready. The shift is ready. The master plan is ready. Are you? The world is about to see a version of you they never expected. They expected you to break. They expected you to quit. They expected you to fade away into the background of average America. But they didn't count on the chosen one factor. They didn't count on the fact that you have an archangel as your wingman. Something is shifting right now. Can you feel it? It's the sound of chains hitting the floor. It's the sound of the Red Sea parting. It's the sound of your new life beginning. Stay focused. Do not look to the left or the right. Keep your eyes on the light. The next section will be the strategic alignment, the final steps to secure your territory and ensure that the enemy can never reclaim what has been liberated today. The clock is at the final stretch. Let's finish this strong. The final hour is upon us. We have moved through the master plan and identified the X factor, but now we must execute the strategic alignment. This is where the rubber meets the road. In the high-stakes world of spiritual warfare, alignment is everything. If a sniper's scope is off by even a fraction of a millimeter, they miss the target entirely. If a pilot's navigation system is misaligned by a single degree, they end up in a different country for too long. Your life has been slightly out of sync. You've had the desire, you've had the faith, but the alignment was just a bit off. You were pushing when you should have been pulling. You were speaking when you should have been listening. But right now, Archangel Michael is performing a divine calibration on your spirit. He is lining up your thoughts, your words, and your actions with the frequency of heaven. Then, we are down to the final 60 minutes of this 2-hour window. This is what we call the threshold moment. In every great American story, from the pioneers crossing the Rockies to the astronauts sitting on the launch pad at Cape Canaveral, there is a moment where there is no turning back. You have reached that threshold. The shift is no longer something that is coming. It is something that is happening. Archangel Michael is standing at the gate of your new season, and he is holding a ledger. This ledger contains every promise God has made to you that has not yet been fulfilled. Michael is not just a warrior. He is a messenger of justice. He is looking at that ledger and saying, "The time for waiting is over. The time for delivery is now." But why has it taken this long? This is the question that haunts every chosen one. Why did you have to go through the 2008 crash, the 2020 lockdowns, and the personal heartbreaks that left you feeling hollow? It's because of the logic of the harvest. You cannot harvest what hasn't matured. If God had given you this shift 5 years ago, you wouldn't have had the strategic muscle to protect it. You would have been like a lottery winner who loses it all in 18 months because they didn't have the character to manage the wealth. The struggles of your past were actually character drills. They were designed to build a version of you that is unshakable. Now, you are ready. Your roots go deep enough to support the height of the tree God is about to grow. The global elite and the masters of deception want you to remain in a state of spiritual infancy. They want you to depend on their systems, their news, and their handouts. They want a population that is easily managed by fear. But a chosen one who has been aligned by Archangel Michael is unmanageable. You are no longer a consumer of the world's narrative. You are a producer of the kingdom's reality. When you align with the shift, you stop asking for permission to be successful. You stop waiting for the right economic climate to start your business or buy your home. You realize that you carry your own climate. Wherever you go, the presence of Michael goes with you. And that presence dictates the outcome of every meeting, every contract, and every health report. Let's talk about the tactical silence required in these final minutes. The enemy's last-ditch effort to ruin your alignment is distraction by petty conflict. Watch out for a random text message from an ex that makes you angry. Watch out for a minor car problem or a spill in the kitchen that tries to break your focus. These are spiritual tripwires. The enemy knows that if he can get you to lose your temper or fall into a spirit of grumbling in the final hour, he can delay your entry into the shift. Don't take the bait. If the coffee spills, let it stay on the floor for a minute. If the phone rings with drama, let it go to voicemail. Your priority is vertical alignment. You are talking to the commander-in-chief right now. Everything else can wait. Archangel Michael is currently clearing the air. In the spiritual realm, there is a layer of miasma or cloudiness that often sits over cities and households. It's that feeling of brain fog or unexplained sadness that many Americans are feeling right now. It's a spiritual suppression. But Michael's sword is swinging through that fog. He is creating a clear channel between you and the throne of grace. This is why, in the next few minutes, you might feel a sudden clarity. You might finally understand why that door closed in your face last year. You might finally see the next step in your career that has been hidden for months. This is intelligence gathering at its finest. You are being given the inside track on your own life. The shift is also a financial realignment. We cannot talk about a shift in America without talking about the provision of the saints. The enemy has used financial friction to slow down the work of the chosen ones for far too long. You've spent so much energy just trying to survive that you haven't had the energy to thrive. But Michael is the one who fought for the Prince of Persia to get the message to Daniel. He is the one who clears the financial blockades. Within the next 2 hours, expect a systemic shift in your resources. It might start with a small seed of favor, a refund check you didn't expect, a discount that saves you hundreds, or a random act of kindness from a stranger. These are not accidents. These are test fires. To see if your alignment is holding, when they happen, acknowledge them. Say, "Thank you, Lord, for the shift." The X factor of this alignment is expectancy. There is a difference between hoping and expecting. Hope is a wish. Expectancy is a prepaid reservation. When you go to a restaurant in Manhattan or Chicago with a reservation, you don't hope they have a table. You expect it. You walk in with your head high because your name is in the book. Archangel Michael is telling you that your name is in the book of the shift. Your table is ready. The blessings are already being prepared in the kitchen of heaven. Your only job is to show up in your spirit. Stop acting like a beggar asking for crumbs. Start acting like a joint heir who owns the building. We are coming down to the final 30 minutes. The spiritual tension is at an all-time high. This is the moment where the chosen ones across this nation are being activated simultaneously. You are part of a divine network. You are not alone in your garage or your bedroom. There are thousands of others who are feeling exactly what you are feeling. Michael is synchronizing the army. This shift is going to create a crossover effect, where the power of God becomes so visible in the lives of the chosen that the secular world will have no choice but to take notice. They will look at your life and say, there is no logical explanation for how they recovered from that. And you will just point to the heavens. As we move into the final stage of this video, I want you to prepare for the activation decree. This is the most powerful part of the entire process. We are going to lock in the shift. We are going to seal the master plan so that no demon, no politician, and no globalist agenda can touch what God is doing in your life. The 2-hour countdown is almost at 0. The Archangel Michael has his sword raised, waiting for the final shout of faith. The weight of the world is being lifted. The spirit of heavy is being replaced by the spirit of praise. You are moving from the waiting room to the throne room. Every mile of the desert you walked was worth it for this moment. Your strategic counterattack is about to go live. The shift is not just a change in your circumstances. It is a change in your spiritual DNA. You are being re-encoded for victory. The clock is ticking. 29 minutes, 28 minutes. The threshold is right in front of you. Take a deep breath. Release the tension in your shoulders. Align your heart with the commander. Something is shifting, not in the world, not in the government, but in you. And because it is shifting in you, the world will have to adjust to follow your lead. The countdown is in its final moments. We are now standing at the 0 hour. If you have made it this far, it is because your spirit has recognized the truth in this message. You aren't just watching a video anymore. You are witnessing a divine event in real time. Archangel Michael has completed the spiritual reconnaissance of your life. He has mapped out every stronghold of the enemy, every financial blockage, and every generational curse that has tried to keep your family in a cycle of just enough. Now, the strategic counterattack is being fully unleashed. This is the moment where the hunter officially becomes the hunted. The spirits of lack, fear, and infirmity that have been hunting you for years are now being pursued by the armies of heaven. There is nowhere for them to hide. The shift is absolute. Think about the sheer power of this threshold. In less than 15 minutes, the 2-hour window will close, and the spiritual seal will be set. In the ancient world, a king would use a signet ring to press his image into hot wax and a decree. Once that wax cooled, the law was unchangeable. Right now, the will of God for your life is like that hot wax. It is pliable, it is moving, and it is being shaped by your faith and Michael's sword. But once this moment passes, the shift will be set in stone. You will walk out of this hour as a completely different person. The neighbors in your suburb, the co-workers in your office, and even the globalist architects who think they control the world's resources will have no power over the new you. You have been redacted from the enemy's list and promoted to the commander's list. Let's talk about the payoff. What does this shift actually look like in the physical world? For some of you, it will be a sudden settlement, a legal battle that has dragged on for years, suddenly ending in your favor with a payout that exceeds your expectations. For others, it will be a biological reset. You will wake up tomorrow morning and realize that the chronic pain in your back or the fog in your brain is simply gone. Archangel Michael doesn't do partial victories. When he clears a territory, he clears it completely. He is evicting the squatters from your life. Lack is a squatter. Depression is a squatter. Disease is a squatter. They have no legal right to be in your temple, and today, the High Sheriff of Heaven is serving them their final notice. But there is a final requirement for the chosen one. You must move from believing to possessing. In the history of the American frontier, people were given land grants, but the land wasn't truly theirs until they built a fence around it and started to farm it. You have been given a spiritual land grant in the last 2 hours. Now, you must fence it in. You do this by changing your daily narrative. You cannot talk like a victim while walking like a victor. You cannot complain about the cost of living while you are under the command of the provider. Your language must align with the shift. Instead of saying, "I don't know how I'm going to pay this," you say, "My provision is already on the way because the shift has occurred." This isn't positive thinking. It is positional authorities. The elite class of this world thrives on your compliance with their fear-based reality. They want you to believe that the world is running out of resources, that the climate is your enemy, and that your only hope is to follow their master plan. But Archangel Michael is exposing their grand illusion. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. There is no scarcity in the kingdom. The only scarcity is in the minds of the unchosen. As a chosen one, you are being plugged into a parallel economy. It is an economy based on seed, time, and harvest. It is an economy that thrives in the desert. While the world is talking about recession, you will be talking about expansion. While they are talking about downsizing, you will be talking about dominion. We are now at the 5-minute mark. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? The static is gone. The spiritual noise has been silenced. Archangel Michael has lowered his sword, signaling that the clearance is complete. The path is open. The 2-hour window was the time required to move the angelic heavy artillery into place around your life. Now, the battery is ready to fire. Every prayer request you've ever sent up, every silent cry for help, and every seed of faith you've sown is being catalyzed by this shift. You are about to see a multiplication effect that will make the last 10 years of struggle look like a bad dream that is quickly fading. I want you to take a physical stance of victory right now. If you are sitting, sit up straight. If you are standing, lift your chin. You are a representative of the Most High on American soil. You are a gatekeeper for your family. The shift that Michael is talking about is a generational pivot. Because you stayed in this video, because you listened to these words, the trajectory of your children and your children's children has been altered. They will not have to fight the same demons you fought. They will not have to struggle with the same poverty spirits that tried to break you. You have been the shield that took the hits, and now you are the sword that takes the territory. In these final 60 seconds, I want you to silence the critic inside your head once and for all. That voice that says, "Nothing ever changes," or "You're just imagining this." That voice is the residual echo of a defeated enemy. It has no power. It is like the static on an old radio after the station has gone off the air. The new station is broadcasting now. It is the voice of triumph. It is the voice of the Archangel. It is the voice of the Creator, saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your shift." The clock is hitting 0. The 2 hours are up. The spiritual shift is now a physical fact. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are walking in what has happened. Archangel Michael is moving to his next assignment, but he has left a guard of honor around your household. The angelic presence will not leave you. The divine favor will not depart from you. You have been marked as a chosen one in a way that the spiritual realm can never ignore. As we conclude this strategic activation, remember that your counterattack has just begun. The world will try to tell you that tomorrow is just another Tuesday or just another Friday. They are wrong. Tomorrow is the day 1 of your new era. You are the master of your destiny under the authority of the King. The shift is here. The shift is now. The shift is yours. Go forth with the boldness of a lion. The systems of this world have no jurisdiction over a child of God who knows their rank. You are a chosen one. You are protected. You are provided for. And you are, from this moment forward, undefeated. The shift is complete. Amen. This journey we have taken together over the last 2 hours is more than just a sequence of words. It is a spiritual realignment. We started with the hook of a sudden shift, but we have ended with a master plan for your entire life. The story of your life is no longer a tragedy or a drama written by the architects of fear. It has been rewritten by the hand of the Almighty as an epic tale of victory. The hero's journey you have walked through the valley of shadow has led you to this mountain of transfiguration. You are not the person who started this video. You have been refined in the fire, and you have emerged as spiritual gold. The core lesson of this experience is simple yet profound. Your environment does not dictate your outcome. Your alignment does. In the middle of a national crisis, a chosen one can still experience personal prosperity. In the middle of a global pandemic of fear, a chosen one can still walk in divine peace. This is because you are in the world, but not of it. You are an ambassador of a kingdom that has never known a recession and has never lost a war. Archangel Michael's message was a wake-up call to remind you of your diplomatic immunity in the spiritual realm. The strategic takeaway for you today is to maintain the frequency. The enemy will try to detune you tomorrow. He will use the clutter of life to try to make you forget the clarity of the shift. Don't let him. Keep the vision of the sword in your mind. Keep the logic of the counterattack in your heart. You are now a high-value target for blessing, which means you must be a high-alert steward of your spirit. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. The chosen one path is not always easy, but it is always significant. You were chosen because you have the internal fortitude to carry the weight of the light. You were chosen because you refuse to bow to the idols of the modern age. You were chosen because God saw a spark of rebellion in you, a holy rebellion against the spirit of average. Today, that spark has been fanned into a roaring flame. Now, it is time to anchor this blessing in our community. If you felt the truth of this shift in your bones, if you felt the presence of Michael as we spoke, then you are part of this divine network. We are stronger when we declare together. If you believe that the shift has occurred in your life and you accept your status as a chosen one, I want you to comment the number 999 below right now. This is your digital amen, your public declaration to the spiritual realm that you are in total alignment with this message. If, for some reason, you feel that you aren't quite ready or the content didn't resonate with you yet, comment the number 0. I value your honesty, and it helps me refine these strategic briefings to better serve your spiritual growth. Your voice matters in this counterattack. Leave a comment sharing one thing you are expecting to shift in the next 24 hours. Let us stand in agreement with you. And finally, if you want to be part of this frontline remnant, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We are just getting started. The master plan is unfolding, and you do not want to miss the next intelligence update. Stand tall. Chosen one. The 2 hours are over, but your reign has just begun. Share this message with another warrior who needs to hear it. The shift is contagious. Let's set the world on fire with the light of truth. Until next time, stay aligned, stay alert, and remember the commander of the heavenly host is standing right beside you. Victory is yours. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.